That's me back again. I decided to go ahead and make another clip, try to finish this bowl. Of course, it's it's going to be in two separate clips, and that's not a problem. I'm just now learning a little bit about this YouTube stuff and Facebook stuff, so just bear with me. I'm really just learning how to throw clay, so that needs a lot of help too. I know I've got a lot of people that watch these clips probably that are good potters, and I'm not claiming to be a good potter. I want to be a good potter. I want to be a potter that learns more and appreciates more about clay, because the more I learn about clay, the more I learn about me, how fickle I am, how weak I am. I learned that the more I can learn to submit to God, the better off I am. Because really, we elevate ourselves. We think we're really something, but really it all goes back to the Lord. And if I'll submit to Him and yield to Him, it doesn't make me less. It helps me get to the potential that He has for me. I mean, God's got a plan for my life. I told somebody one day, we talk about, we think we're so smart. We're sort of like a little black ant walking across the desk of a rocket scientist and then looking up and trying to give him advice. We're certainly creating an image of God. I'm not minimizing that. But when we try to compare ourselves to God, we realize that we're nothing. Everything depends on Him. Everything is of Him. He said, I'm Alpha and I'm Omega. He said, I'm the beginning and I'm the end. And as I said, it don't make me less. I think that's the main growth thing we need as Christians to realize. It doesn't make me less to submit to the Father. I know a lot of you are not going to like what I'm fixing to say, but it doesn't make a woman less to submit to her husband. Now, I don't mean to be his doormat, but I'm talking about in a godly fashion submitting to the authority that God has laid down. And so when I submit to the Lord, I'm saying, Lord, you're all in all, and I want to be what you have for me. I want to be what you have planned for me. I want to be obedient to you. Remember, there's a force pulling on that clay. There's also a force pulling on me, constantly trying to get me out, trying to get me away from center. Natural tendency there to want to pull away from center. But I also know that in the center of God's will is peace. In that center of that bowl, in that exact center of that bowl, there's no movement. There's movement, but I'm saying there's no, you can see the top is just a little bit out of round. That's normal. That's not abnormal. But in the very, very center, there's calm. And that's the way it is in a storm. Excuse me. They say in the eye of the hurricane, it's just perfect calm. I'm pressing my limit just a little bit here. I want to get that top thin down just a little bit, but I think we got and I got a frog in my throat. We got about what we want here. That bowl, if I don't mess it up and working on it here, probably hold a couple of quarts. Maybe it's about 10 or 11 inches across the top. Probably about 6 or 8 inches tall. Now I'll trim a foot on it. It'll have a fancy little foot under the bottom. One thing I want to remind you that I really worked on this bottom. The bottom is the foundation. Everything about this bowl is built on that foundation. If I laid that bottom out wrong or didn't get it compressed properly, or if I've got a hump right in the middle of it, it'll puddle. It won't do right. So you want to get that foundation just exactly right. This is a rib. We're just taking, this is the juice here is called slurry. And we try to get as much of that off of there if we can, and it helps the bowl be a little bit easier to handle. Makes it nice and smooth for the outside, for adding the glaze. I believe if you could talk to the clay, that bowl would say, hey, I feel like I'm heading in the right direction. I know this from the potter's standpoint. When you finish a bowl, there's a real satisfaction. But I also know this. I know this bowl is not completed yet. It looks pretty now. And it'll look pretty as it dries. It'll get prettier. But the problem is, it's not finished yet. Remember the song, I believe Pastor Pirate used to sing, he's not through with me yet, he's not finished with me yet, something like that. God's not finished with me. Now this bowl is just, as I said, it's pretty. It'll dry now for several hours. Then I'll take it, cut it off this bat, the thing that is thrown on here, and I'll trim it. But it's still not finished. It'll be pretty, but still not finished. And it'll get what we call bone dry. It'll be pretty, still not finished. You can take, when it's bone dry, you can put stuff in it, you can lay it around, do what you want to, and it's still not finished. In fact, if you pour water in it, it'll turn back down into that liquid mass that we see here now. But now here's what I want you to understand too, that when I fire this, the first time I fire it, it'll be in the bisque kiln. It'll be fired to where it'll be cherry red. When I bring it out, you can thump on it, it'll ring like a bell. Still not finished. Bisque will not even hold water. You can put water in it. The flower pots you buy, those terracotta flower pots, will absorb a certain amount of water. This bowl is not going to be finished until I put the final glaze on it, put it back into the kiln the second time, fire it up over 2,000 degrees to what this one will be cone 6, and then it'll be a finished vessel. It'll have the glaze on it, it'll have the beauty, but it'll also, more than beauty, it'll have the durability on the inside. It'll be vitrified. It'll all be brought together to the point that I want it to come to. And I'm not going to be satisfied with this bowl until it reaches that point to where it not only has the beauty to it, but it also has the durability to it. All right, thank you. Appreciate you watching the clip. Let us know what you think. God bless you. Bye.